And so here we are, we're episode 5 of the previews already. We're looking at 4 morning shows as usual, letting you know what I think of them. But I'll actually take this opportunity to let you know which shows I will not be previewing this season. 2 shows which I do plan on watching at some point eventually, but probably not in time for a preview guide. That's Zombieland Saga Revenge and How Not to Summon Demon Lord Omega. Both are apparently great shows, which I've been meaning to catch up on, but I haven't done so in time, so I won't be able to preview them. But you let me know what you think of them in the comments and why I should catch up. And join me as I look at 4 more new shows, because this is a 2021 spring anime preview from a different perspective. Last episode we left off with an anime which title told you a bit about the series. This episode we start with an anime with a title tells you what the series is about, fully. Welcome to the world of Full Dive. This ultimate next-gen Full Dive RPG is even shittier than real life. I mean, the title really says it already. I don't have to tell you what the anime is about, since you already know. But I'm going to a bit longer, really, because I've got a few more minutes to spare. But our main character hero is just a normal kid, hates reality, doesn't like sports, tries to escape into VR games. But because he gives some money to bullies, he can no longer afford his favourite Full Dive VR MMO, which is launching today, Final Fantasy. No. But finalising Quest 22. But yeah, it's Final Fantasy. And so he goes around trying to find it cheap enough to buy, and he ends up getting tricked into buying another game. A game called Kiwame Quest. So I thought, okay, this game sounds cool. We're sold to it by a cute saleswoman, so I'll try it out. Gets home, finds out it's actually 10 years old. When he launches the game, that's all water under the bridge because it looks absolutely incredible. The wind is super realistic, the sensation of touch is super realistic, everything about the game is perfectly set up and super realistic. And then his childhood friend opens the door directly into his head, and that really hurts, and that's super realistic. Yeah, this is a super realistic MMO where everything's just a bit too real. It takes real effort to do anything, you take me through real pain. And I don't know about you, I don't feel like playing an MMO where I'm going to feel pain if I die. That doesn't sound like a good idea. And that's probably why this VR MMO failed, because, well, we actually know it failed because he pretends to told us all about it at the start of the episode. At least we all know a cute sales assistant is cute. But in playing the game, he doesn't know what to do, there's no user interface, there's no instruction manual, there's no quest pop-ups, and just through sheer bad luck, he ends up killing his friend, who's trying to prevent him from going outside. Why would he go outside? There's monsters out there, there's dangers out there. Now, Full Dive is a relatively shitty anime. It doesn't really live up to its hype. Not really is any much hype about it these days. Video game isekai, this is not. It's not trapped in a video game, but it feels very much like it. The kid trapped into buying a game he doesn't want to play, but by damn he's going to try and play it anyway. If you are interested in watching Full Dive, this one's airing over at Funimation. Next up is a history lesson, because the Honda Super Cub is a motorcycle built in Japan in 1958. It was released overseas, it was released in Europe and America as a Honda 50, but it's a small, simple, revolutionary motorcycle of a time. It was designed to be light, simple and easy to repair. Of course, if you think about it, if it was built in the late 50s, imagine what Japan was like in the 50s. This is post-war Japan. It's the whole reason why you get those little tiny Japanese boxy cars, because they were built to the K-car regulations, which require them to be built to a certain degree. Now those rules came in post-war, because Japan was still recovering, they didn't have the technology, didn't have the mechanical knowledge to build anything else, and so they made regulations to make it cheaper, easier, and small cars which are easy to work. Now the Super Cub itself was, as I say, a revolutionary motorcycle. Famously, the CEO of Honda said this bicycle needs to be able to be easy to repair, easy to operate, you need to be able to ride it with one hand while holding your sober in another hand and not lose a sober. And so this light, simple motorcycle was created, and these days it is seen as one of the most revolutionary motorcycles in the world. In fact, when James May did a program on TV called James May's Cars of a People, he actually named the Super Cub as one of his Cars of a People. But this anime is not a history lesson. This anime is an anime about a girl called Kaguma who lives alone. Apparently she got no parents, we're not told why, but she lives alone and she cycles to school every day and is getting tired of cycling. So she decides to go and buy a bike. She doesn't have much money, doesn't know how much a bike costs, but thinks it's a decent idea. When she sees the price of bikes, she thinks, okay, there's no way I can afford one of these. They're talking about 100,000 yen. But the elderly, but very nice, very thoughtful salesman says, I might have a second-hand one for you. Wait here. So he goes into a garage, comes out a second-hand bike, a Super Cub, and says, this one's second-hand. You might not want it. People have died on this bike. But she said, how much is it? 10,000 yen. Now, very little actually happens in this first episode, other than Kaguma buying a bike and learning to ride it. It's not going to a vehicle registration and licensing place and learning to ride. This is about her just knowing how to do a test, getting a license, getting her plates, getting a bike, and learning to live with a bike. This is a love letter to the Super Cub. Super Cub is a nice, soft, gentle anime. I like my nice, soft, soothing anime, and Super Cub is one of those. It fulfills that criteria for me. It's a motoring anime, which I do like my bikes, and I'm definitely going to be watching more of this one. I think Laid Back Camper's got to success of this season in a nice soothing anime just to relax after a hard day at work. If you are interested in watching Super Cub, this one's airing over at Funimation. In stark contrast comes the next anime, Fairy Ranmaru. Because unlike the last one, this one is a lot more brash and a lot more out there, because it's a magical boy anime. Our main character, Ranmaru, is a fairy of the light. He's travelling to Japan with 4 other fairies of different elements, and with orders of a queen, with orders to go and find feelings of people, to save their smiles, to save them and earn their smiles to give to a queen. Now, there are tricks in that. They can't reveal what they are, but they can apparently transform themselves into magical boys to try and save them from evil people. And by God, the evil person in this anime is evil. It's another girl bullying the main girl. She's getting cyberbullied with her phone, receiving text messages saying how much of a bitch, how much of a slut she is, how much she sleeps around, how stinky she is. And it, on itself, all those things that don't sound nice, they're not hugely harmful until you have them every second of a day from multiple different people, whether they're all from the same person, all from that one girl's pair of phones. And she's doing it to make herself feel better, which makes it even worse. But lo and behold, Ranmaru transforms, and my God, the transformation's interesting. It's your traditional glowy body magical girl transformation, just with magical boys. And when they transform, they're wearing shorts so tight you couldn't hide a mackerel in there, and muscles so defined he could be an extra from how heavily the dumbbells you lift. This does not seem to be parody as well. It looks to be a straightforward, yes, this is a magical boys anime. I'm definitely not going to be going for more of this myself, but it's worth a look if you are kind of interested about what it looks like. There are going to be people who lap up this anime, but not for me. You can find it over at Crunchyroll. Finally today we have one more sports anime. We have a world of Backflip, an anime about rhythmic gymnastics. It's about a boys' rhythmic gymnastics club and a team, and about a kid who has done sports, has done football, has done swimming, he's done football, he's done swimming, he's done baseball, and doesn't know what to do with himself anymore. Until randomly one day he finds himself walking into a gymnastics competition and watches a high school called Ao High School do a routine which he's absolutely floored by. It's stunning watching these boys just manoeuvre themselves so gracefully on the mat. However, he's surprised when they finish and say, okay, they score 15 out of 20. Why do they score so low? Well, somebody explains to him that they score so low because there's 4 of them. It's supposed to be a team of 6. And gymnastics is a score of penalties. You start with 20 points, and for every mistake you lose points. And for having less than 6 members, you lose 1.5 points per member. So in effect they scored 15 out of 17, which is much higher. And so he chooses his score based on what he wants to do, and he ends up going to this high school with these gymnastics, Ao High School. And lo and behold, of course, he does get interested and look to join the club. This is going to be very much different to the other 2 sports anime we got this season. Unlike Kabaddi, it's not a person getting manipulated into joining a club. Unlike Kramer, it's not about a team. It's about a person finding themselves and finding a new sport which they want to do. Now, Backflip does look interesting, I'll be honest with yourself. The gymnastics were CG, but it was fluid CG and it made sense for what they were doing. Am I interested in watching a gymnastics anime? Probably not, but a lot of people will be. It's a good one. You can find it airing over at Crunchyroll. I do hope you enjoyed today's history lesson. It's not always like that. When I find a subject I want to talk about, I talk about it. And there's some other shows that shared as well. And next time I'm going to look at 4 more new shows. Probably not about motorcycles. So join me then. Well, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, the usual jazz. Bye bye.